So, Wonka's gone. You probably guessed that from the big delay in posting videos the last couple of months. But this video has been really hard to make. He was actually put to sleep on Christmas Eve. And in the month beforehand, I was in a car accident, so I did film some things with him talking about how to make a sick cat eat. But when I looked back at the footage, I was very loopy. I clearly hit my head a little bit harder than I thought I did. So while I can use the footage, I need to redo everything I was saying and make it more coherent. But I haven't done that yet. I haven't wanted to look at him again. Essentially, his quality of life started to deteriorate in a way that I couldn't manage. And so we chose to put him to sleep before anything got really critical and traumatic. But it's still not easy. It's not meant to be easy, and it still sucks in a very big way. Essentially, Wonka started to eat cat litter, which he was on a lot of medication to try and make him eat because he was on chemo and he had the stomach cancer. But he was starting to chew mouthfuls of crystal litter instead of cat food. He would walk away from the cat food and then go back to the litter, which was really weird, and I tried all the tricks that I have and I couldn't stop him from doing that. Anything I did to make him eat made him also want to eat litter. And then he hit a point where he could no longer crunch his favourite treats. He wanted them, he would pick them up in his mouth and hold them, but he couldn't actually close his jaw hard enough to break them open. So that was a pretty solid sign that he'd had enough. And he didn't really want to cuddle like he used to. He couldn't curl up the same way. He didn't want to sit on people. So that was that. Choosing when to put a cat to sleep is difficult. But it's meant to be. It's not meant to be a decision that you make easily and lightly and then go on with your day. You love them very much, so of course you want them to be there for as long as they possibly can be, but you also don't want them to suffer, and you know that if you do nothing, you get to the end of the story and they will have suffered. Sometimes it's really obvious if you've had a massive trauma or something like that, and you know, oh well, this can't be fixed, this has to be decided now. But when you have a slow illness that gets slowly worse over time, it's harder to pick when is the right time, when is the quality no longer there, and have you not cut their life short unreasonably. A lot of people go, oh, the cat's still purring, he must be happy, and that's not accurate. Cats will also purr when they want to be happy. They do this wishful thinking sort of purr to try to comfort themselves. So a purring cat can be in a lot of pain and a lot of distress, and it's just trying to be brave. Some people will also go on, well, when they stop eating, I'll know that's time. And that's also not relevant, because Wonka was on medication to make him eat. He would eat, but that wasn't a good enough indicator for quality. I prefer to run by making a list of favourite things. So ideally you have an odd number of the cat's favourite things to do. That might be sleep in the sun, or his favourite box, or favourite treats that he eats. And when he can't do half of them, at that point they're just existing, they're not thriving, which is what you really want. That's it. That's time. And I'm always of the opinion that you are better off making that decision earlier when it's still actually a decision, it's a choice, rather than towards the end where all your choices get taken from you. Because it's going to suck either way, like, to be honest. But it will suck less if you feel like you've made a choice. Like, you're choosing to prevent suffering, you're in control, you're doing it on the day and the time that you choose, rather than like a last minute dash to the emergency centre at 2 a.m. where everything's loud and busy and chaotic, and it's not the calm, controlled sort of goodbye that you would have hoped for. It's actually pretty rare that animals just pass away peacefully in their sleep. That's wishful thinking in a lot of cases with chronic illnesses like cancer and heart disease. I used to work in an emergency centre overnight, and I saw lots and lots of cases where people had been waiting, sometimes for days, for their pet to pass peacefully in their sleep until they just couldn't take it anymore, and they'd come rushing in to see me at 2 or 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with an animal that's gasping or screaming or just not good, to literally put it out of its misery, when days or weeks before they should have just gone to the clinic one afternoon as a family, had a quiet but sad gathering and said goodbyes, feeding treats and having cuddles, and not what they end up with in the small hours of the night. So we chose to put Wonka to sleep when he couldn't do his things anymore. I miss him, of course you miss him. Like, the 10 years he's been here have been a blessing and a privilege. But too short. 10 is too short. All my other childhood cats hit 19 or 20, including Whoops, who also was 20 and passed in December. Unless they were outdoor cats and they got hit by a car or bitten by a snake, as happens with outdoor cats. 10 feels robbed. But it is what it is. It just sucks. It really, really sucks. Anyway, there'll still be some footage of him that I will touch up and use and redo whatever I'm talking about. So they'll be a bit out of order. But that's the end. And if you're going to leave a comment, please don't do the Rainbow Bridge stuff. I'm not religious and I don't like it particularly much. It's everywhere in veterinary medicine, but it's not my thing. It gives other people comfort, but not me. I don't know when I'll do the next one, but you'll see it then. Thanks for listening.